Most startups don't fail because the founders are lazy. They don't fail because the idea is bad. And they definitely don't fail overnight. They fail slowly, quietly, and then all at once. As we move into 2026, we're about to see a wave of startup shutdowns that will shock a lot of people. Companies that raised millions. Startups that were once featured in tech blogs. Founders who were told they were the future. And yet, many of them won't survive the next 12 to 18 months. Not because innovation is dead, but because the rules of the game have completely changed. Let's talk about why. For the last decade, startups lived in a world of cheap money. Interest rates were low. Venture capital was flowing. If you had a decent pitch deck, a confident story, and a big vision, investors were willing to bet on you. Growth mattered more than profit. User numbers mattered more than revenue. Burning cash was normal, sometimes even celebrated. That era is over. In 2026, capital is expensive. Investors are cautious. And the question every founder is being asked now is simple but brutal. How exactly does this business make money? Many startups don't have a good answer. They built products assuming funding would always be available. They hired fast, expanded fast, and spent faster. Now the runway is gone, and there's no next funding round coming to save them. And this is where the collapse begins. Another major reason startups will die in 2026 is false demand. During the pandemic years, consumer behavior was distorted. People were stuck at home, spending online, trying new apps, new tools, new services. Startups mistook this temporary spike for long-term demand. They scaled based on a moment, not a market. Now consumer behavior has normalized. People are more careful with money. Businesses are cutting software subscriptions. Households in the US, UK, and Australia are dealing with higher rent, higher groceries, and higher interest payments. If your startup is a nice-to-have instead of a must-have, you're in trouble. The harsh truth is this: people don't care about your product as much as you think they do. And in 2026, only products that solve painful, expensive problems will survive. Then there's the AI gold rush, and this is where things get dangerous. Thousands of startups jumped into AI without a real moat. Many of them are just thin wrappers around existing models. Same tools, same outputs, different logos. At first, it looked impressive. Then competitors showed up. Then prices dropped. Then customers realized they could get the same result elsewhere, or do it themselves. In 2026, AI startups without defensibility will be wiped out fast. If your entire business can be copied in a weekend, you don't have a startup, you have a demo. Big tech companies will absorb the best features. Open source models will eat the rest. And the startups that didn't build something truly unique will disappear. Another silent killer is founder burnout. The startup story we're sold is glamorous. Freedom, impact, being your own boss. What we don't talk about is the emotional cost. Years of stress, constant uncertainty, pressure from investors, pressure from employees, pressure from family, and the fear of failure sitting in your chest every single day. In 2026, many founders won't run out of money. They'll run out of energy. And when leadership collapses, the company follows. Startups don't die only on spreadsheets. They die in the minds of the people leading them. There's also a brutal reality most founders avoid. Bad fundamentals can't be fixed later. A weak business model doesn't magically improve with scale. Poor unit economics don't get better by hiring more people. A confused value proposition doesn't become clear just because you raised money. In the past, startups could delay these problems. In 2026, delays are fatal. Markets are tighter, competition is smarter, customers are skeptical. If your numbers don't work now, they won't work later. And this brings us to the most uncomfortable reason of all. Many startups were never meant to exist in the first place. They were built to chase funding, not customers. They optimized pitch decks instead of products. They focused on hype instead of usefulness. In a tougher economic environment, reality catches up fast. The startups that survive 2026 won't be the loudest or the most hyped. They won't be the ones chasing headlines or trends. They'll be the ones doing the boring things exceptionally well. Survival in 2026 comes down to one core shift: discipline over dreams. Founders who make it through this period will obsess over cash flow, not valuations, not follower counts. Cash in, cash out. Every hire, every tool, every marketing dollar will be questioned. The era of "we'll figure out monetization later" is officially dead. Profitable or very close to it is the new standard. Another key difference is customer closeness. Startups that survive will know their customers deeply, not through surveys or dashboards alone, but through conversations. Real ones. The kind where you hear frustration, hesitation, and disappointment, not just praise. Founders will build fewer features, but better ones. They'll stop trying to impress investors and start trying to retain users. In 2026, churn is a killer. If people leave after a month, your growth is fake, and fake growth is expensive. The winners will design products that are painful to leave, not because they trap users, but because they genuinely help them do their job better, faster, or cheaper. The strongest startups will also rethink how they scale. For years, scaling meant hiring fast. Bigger teams, bigger offices, bigger burn. Now scaling means leverage. Automation instead of headcount. Smaller teams with higher skill. Clear roles instead of bloated org charts. In the US, UK, and Australia, labor is expensive. Startups that don't respect that reality won't last. Lean isn't a phase anymore. It's a permanent mindset. There's also a massive shift happening in how investors think. In 2026, investors won't ask, "How big could this be?" They'll ask, "How real is this today?" They want proof, not promises. Revenue, not projections. Retention, not traffic spikes. Startups built on storytelling alone will struggle. The ones built on fundamentals will quietly raise money, or won't need to raise at all. Ironically, the best startups in 2026 may be the ones you never hear about. Another uncomfortable truth: many founders will need to let go of ego. This might mean pivoting away from the original idea. It might mean stepping out of the CEO role. It might mean shutting down a product that no longer makes sense. Survival requires humility. Founders who fall in love with their identity instead of their customers will make emotional decisions, and emotional decisions are expensive. The founders who win are the ones who adapt without taking it personally. Then there's timing, the factor nobody likes to admit matters. Some startups will die simply because they're too early, others because they're too late. In 2026, timing will be unforgiving. Markets move fast, technology moves faster, and customers move on without warning. The startups that survive will stay alert. They'll watch behavior, not headlines. They'll respond to what people actually do, not what they say they want. Adaptation speed will matter more than perfection. And finally, there's something rarely talked about in startup culture: sustainability for the founder. The winners of 2026 won't just build sustainable businesses. They'll build sustainable lives. They'll protect their mental health. They'll set boundaries. They'll stop pretending that constant exhaustion is a badge of honor. Because a burned-out founder makes bad decisions, and bad decisions kill companies. The startups that survive will be led by people who understand that resilience beats intensity in the long run. So yes, many startups will die in 2026. But this isn't the end of innovation. It's a reset. A correction that forces businesses to grow up. A moment that rewards clarity over chaos. And a filter that removes noise from real value. The companies that survive won't just exist. They'll be stronger, leaner, and more honest than the ones that came before them. And for founders willing to face reality, 2026 might not be the year everything falls apart. It might be the year everything finally starts to make sense.